to another episode of Anomaly Presents, the podcast about the genre movies that inspired a genre film festival. That is the Anomaly Film Festival in beautiful Rochester, New York. We are running this year, November 6th through the 10th at the historic Little Theater, as well as the also historic Drive-In Theater for a night.
They haven't learned. Nobody say anything.
For a historic festival? A historic
You want to know what, KP? It is a historic festival. It is our 6th year.
Woo!
That's one for the history books.
We did it.
We did it.
We're almost good at it now. So
almost. We're really selling this thing.
Medium.
It's medium good.
Hi, give us your money. We might pull this off.
We always pull it off every year.
Hell yeah.
Year in, year out.
It's like a blind box.
Exactly.
You'll see something. There'll be something up there.
We'll have lots of stuff. Not just one something. All of the things.
Yeah. Yes. Many things.
You'll have many much things.
Anomaly, many things.
Many much moosin'. So this is the Anomaly Presents podcast. As you've no doubt ascertained, this is a podcast about movies. My name is Matt Austin. I'm with the Podcastronauts tonight. We've got Kristen Pacheco.
Hey, everybody.
Got Megan Murphy.
Yeah, it's me.
And Sky, you're recently married, so fill in the rest of your name. I don't want to mess up.
Oh.
What do you got?
Sky Murphy. I was a proper queer and kept my last name. Girl power.
Girl power.
Yeah, now after everything we say, it's girl power.
Girl power. And I mean that in the most unironic way. I kept my last name.
So congratulations on getting married. Welcome. So it's going to be a fun night because we're here to spice up your life. It's Spice World, 1997's pop rock movie classic.
Correct.
Kind of an updated Hard Day's Night.
Yeah.
Richard Lester on Fast Forward, like Richard Lester on Speed with, a little goofier.
A little bit.
So
you know what Hard Day's Night doesn't have? Meatloaf.
What? Meatloaf. It's true.
It's true.
He'll do anything for those girls.
Alan Cummings.
But he won't do that.
Won't do that.
Won't do that. Ah! You see? You listen much sleep.
Yeah, this.
Elton John.
This one.
I have a whole list. Like we started about all the cameos.
So
and now you're talking about people who actually have roles in it, which is nuts.
That's the crazy part when we get into that. So let's kind of start with this. It's Spice World. It is the Spice Girls movie. I know we usually show a trailer just to kind of give you a flavor of what that movie is, and this week is no exception. I did find the trailer. Let me make sure I hit the right one so I don't accidentally hit the Deadly Prey trailer, because that would be funny.
So I'll talk about that again.
Deadly Prey.
And then, Spice Girls in Deadly Prey. Okay. They swap movies.
If there was ever going to be
shorty shorts.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. I am.
Spice would take everybody down.
Well, don't they do the space, or what is it called? Spice Force 5? Spice Force 5.
Yeah.
Boom. It actually fits together real well.
But yes, roll that beautiful bean footage.
When the world is in trouble, when our future is in danger, we call upon one man. But when he's busy, he calls 5 girls. Columbia Pictures presents The Spice Girls.
All right, we're coming.
In their film debut, Victoria, Emma, Mel B, Jerry, and Mel C. They're ready for action. Girl power. They're dressed to kill.
Do you want that shaken or stirred?
And thoroughly prepared for any encounter. It's a story of love.
I think with boys, you should be able to just wheel them in.
Yeah, and order them like a pizza.
Yeah, no cheese.
compassion,
It's really too hot in here. I need a fan.
and misunderstanding.
When the speeding melon hits the wall,
It's Christmas for the crows.
What did he say?
I haven't a clue.
That's more like it. This January,
Would you like an hors d'oeuvre?
No. But I'll have one of these pie things.
make your choice.
I like the blonde one. No. Sporty.
Rock your world. And spice up your life with the Spice Girls. Spice World.
Yeah, but can they act?
Blah, blah, blah. Girl power, feminism. Do you know what I mean?
The pandemonium that must have been in the theater when that thing ran. Holy cow.
Oh yeah, I was screaming my little kid head off. They were the first one.
Wow.
Darien Lake, that American tour they referenced at the end of that trailer. I went to that.
Oh,
Did you really?
ah! You're connected. KP, you're basically in the movie.
While we're there, I got to hear about that. What was that show like?
So I don't remember much, and it's bad. I do remember another little girl sitting in front of me, and she was dressed just like Scary Spice, like in a little leopard print and all that. And it was me and my mom. And yeah, it was a good time. But except there were some gross men sitting behind us, and they yelled when they sang the song Naked. They sang it, they looked like they were naked with sitting on chairs backwards, and some gross guy was like, "Knock the chairs away." It was like,
dude.
core
Dude.
memory for like 10-year-old me.
Oh, no.
Classic Darien
Oh,
Lake.
no.
Ugh, pig. But yes, other than that, fantastic time. We had a good time.
And
Blah, boo. You know what? Years and years ago, boo on those dudes. Still, boo on those dudes.
Also, yeah, just total creeps. Like, what are you doing there, bud?
Yeah, come on.
the good news is, if there's any, is that they're probably dead.
You know what? It's funny that you say that because I was like, they're probably dead. I literally was going, the brain cell is just pinging right around.
God, we're so goddamn morbid. Anyway,
I did try to find the t-shirt I had, and I did pull my Barbie case open. I used to have Sporty Spice. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody, but could not. She's not in there. I don't know where she went.
Oh, she went on her own
no.
adventures.
Yeah. Yep.
Godspeed, Sporty.
Yeah.
so did you see this in the theater then?
Yes. Oh yeah. No, my parents took me. Yes.
Awesome. And what was your experience with that? I hate to put you on the spot here, but it feels like you are the Spice Girl of the crew right now.
Yeah.
Like,
It's me and Sky.
Yeah,
we'll get to it, Sky Spice. We'll get to it.
But
Who performed in front of their entire 5th grade class to spice up your life for a DARE program? Okay. And then their friend pretended to smoke the marijuanas and then pass out. And then the song ended, and then you went, "I can't hang with you no more." And then you walked off stage dramatically. Okay. I remember that line to this day. But we had a dance to spice up your life. And then she passed out.
The
Obviously, the
Devil's Spice.
marijuanas makes you too high. The Devil's Spice makes you too high to dance the Spice Girls. And then your friends don't want to be friends with you anymore.
Oh, sweet irony.
What our two stories basically say, and what this movie is like a perfect kind of encapsulation of, is like Spice Girl like fever, like how huge, at least like they were at the time, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was 2 albums. They went on tour, and then Ginger left. But like ultimately, I mean, they were in this whole kind of Britain fashion.
The cool Britannia period.
Yeah,
It was very
really
brief.
at
It
the
was like
time.
this Austin Powers. It was like 97 to 99.
Yeah,
Swinging 60s came back for a little bit.
Yep.
Robbie Williams and Take That was also there and all that. Yep.
Every young feminine person knows
Like a
what Spice
comet.
they were.
Yeah.
All right. I guess let's go around. What Spice?
Oh
were you?
shit. Okay.
I'm 40. I
mean,
that was Tomboy. There was really no.
That's a gimme.
Scary.
Sky. Scary?
The big personality.
Yeah.
The Leo of the group, because I have a Leo moon, you know.
Yes.
Don't keep looking at me.
Meg?
I don't have an answer. I was not a clear Spice, and I knew it at the time. I'm like, I can appreciate the Spice Girls, yet I feel there is not I don't slot into that like of the 5, wherever the 6th one is.
First of all, you're a combination of Emma and Mel C. Or Mel B, sorry. Of Scary Spice and Baby Spice, first of all, combo.
I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I will take a combo answer.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm just a baby. Also, look, axes.
Tell me I'm wrong. Where's the line?
Oh my God. So I'm basically
Undetected.
Megan.
Yeah.
I'm Mithrigan. Okay, I got that. Mithrigan Spice.
Threegan Spice.
Yeah.
And as always, I'm the bus driver. So
100%.
As always.
He just loved the girls.
He did.
just wanted everything good for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big dad energy ever since I was 19.
I love that.
I feel that.
So this film.
I was gonna say we should probably talk about the movie at some point.
We'll get there. It was a phenomenon, everybody. We have to process it.
I do feel like we kind of have to set the stage for it because Spice Mania is kind of the kind of thing that's fallen away a little bit. People don't really talk about the Spice
we
Girls
lived
as
through
much.
it. Yeah, we know it at a core level.
The biggest stars in that movie were the Spice Girls. I don't care that Elton John at the time. I didn't care that Elton John was there. I didn't know I didn't care who Alan Cummings was. I did not perceive, because of being the siblings I had, I knew who what's his name from Kids of the Hall was. That's leaving my brain right now. Yeah. Who was also in Slings and Arrows. Yes, I knew who that was, but I could tell you most of those young people watching that didn't know who the hell that was. But he was great. I could tell you right now that because of my family, I knew who Meatloaf was. Most of the young kids maybe knew who Meatloaf was. Like the appreciation for these and the guy who's also oh God, there's so much in here. My brain can't even handle
Ultimately,
it.
The audience is for children.
Yes.
And all the cameos just show how big they were and that the parents would understand. That's all that is.
Yeah. And that's why it's enjoyable, because it is just this bonkers like retelling of like the Monkeys film, like the Monkeys movie that they did, which is like because the Monkeys were like a quote unquote, which my dad likes to say, don't ever get the Beatles and the Monkeys confused, because people would be very upset, because the Monkeys were like a quote unquote manufactured band, and so were the Spice Girls.
They were
I know.
Jokes on them, but like we're living in the future.
We're in the future.
We're living in the future.
We're living in the future. So there are people who like quote unquote naturally came together or whatever, like singing in coffee houses and they came together or whatever. But this is a retelling of like how the Spice Girls came together, but really the Spice Girls were like brought together by a music industry person. But this is funny because it says, oh yeah, we all knew each other from kids, and then we were brought up together, and then we have this one best friend who's pregnant. I think that's like an even better story of how the Spice Girls came to be. And I think that makes this movie extra funny, because now you're like, I can tell something's like fake about this, but I couldn't tell you if it was actually true. At the time, I still didn't understand where the Spice Girls came from, because we didn't have social media like we do now.
Right. So this was kind of, the fictionalized portrayal of them coming together, and then they're kind of on their first English tour. Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they start out playing like Top of the Pops.
Mm-hmm.
Top of the Pops.
Top of the
Top
Pops.
of the Pops. Rochester. Top of the Pops.
Jesus, that was terrible. I apologize to anyone listening.
Yeah, this is the second time in a podcast where we just went real nasal Rochester and dared people to keep listening. Can of worms.
Can of worms.
Oh, that was terrible. I hate it when it's so strong that I realize how shitty it sounds.
But I really like
normally we don't hear it. Like we didn't live with it. That's what it sounds like in my head all the time.
Until someone says, can you repeat that? I'm like,
oh,
can of worms. And then I go, can of worms.
Can of worms, yeah.
No.
I have fun info about the director.
Yeah, tell
Yes.
me about the director.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is interesting. So it's Bob Spears, right?
Yep. Mhm.
So he was the first feature film he just did That Darn Cat for Disney, right? Because what he was a TV director in British TV. He worked on Are You Being Served, Faulty Towers, Bit of Fry and Laurie, French and
Absolutely
Saunders,
Fabulous.
which yeah,
Which
and
is
absolutely
why-
fabulous. And in fact, the reason he did this film, because he didn't know who the hell Spice Girls were, Jennifer Saunders told him, "You should take this job."
Bless Jennifer Saunders for so
Yeah.
fucking much.
And then she's a cameo in there.
It's
But
delightfully
really, she's
cameo.
She
you're
and
gonna
Dawn
wanna
French
take
both
this
pop
job.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Dawn French.
So that's the whole thing. It's like, and I think he did maybe another film or two. Like he's not like prolific in movies. So this was another extra little, like just this little moment in time where someone made this thing and it feels like he was the guy for the job and this was the job.
So that's why it got weird with the meatloaf.
That's
part
why
and
it's
the aliens.
again the whole
very
Britannia.
British.
This is an incredibly British movie.
It's
This
so
is one of the most British films ever made, and that's part of the reason because he had British sketch comedy TV chops.
Yeah, he
So
did an
that's why-
entire season of Bottom. That's crazy.
Well,
Oh my god. Okay, I can't tell you how I've been rewatching like their stage shows right now. I can't get into that, but Aid and okay, I love them. Okay.
One day we'll come back and do Guest
Rick-
House Paradiso. Anyway.
Yeah.
And the writer for this, and it's probably, and I mean this, I'm going to say what I mean. So the writer for this also wrote from Justin to Kelly. So that probably also influenced him to move in an improvisation route. And I did watch behind the scenes. I did watch the 20-30 minute behind the scene thing that's on YouTube. And every single one of them were like, we were told to improv. Including Alan Cumming was like, yeah, I showed up and they told me, oh, you need to improv. So
amazing.
That's where and where three become one. That's where that came from. That was an improv line. And what do I quote every single time I possibly can? Is when three become one.
Yeah, to this day, at least once or twice a year. It's a family tradition.
Wouldn't it be weird if it was a completely different line that you were going to go with that? And that's why I always say girl power.
I quote this movie an absurd amount. And some people don't even know what I'm saying because it's such a weird quote. Like that quote that she says with no cheese, right? Like I just say that randomly. And
the line reading imprinted on your young, fragile mind.
My brain.
I mean, I have more than once said the little Gucci dress, the little Gucci dress, or the little Gucci dress. Why don't you wear the little Gucci dress? I'm like, it's not a smart joke, but it's funny and it lives in my head.
And I didn't know what Gucci was at the time. I didn't know what she was saying with Gucci. I was just like, oh, what's a Gucci dress? I had to ask my friend, but I was like, oh, but I knew the joke was she's asking the same black dress.
Mm-hmm. I do want to say I felt like in this movie, Victoria kind of was the funnest or the funniest.
Yeah.
Like she was deadpan.
Yeah. Well, she was like she was the straight woman. Like all the craziness can bounce off of Posh because she can't be goofy or then she's no longer Posh Spice.
Yep.
That's
so she held it together, the core, the anger.
But I guess
who knew?
Maybe we should go back to the beginning now.
Oh yeah.
So
since we Max set the scene with the director, we
matched the energy of this film.
Yes.
Yeah.
The chaotic energy of this film.
There's an analog to Rupert Murdoch trying to ruin the Spice Girls.
Which is accurate.
That cracked me up because at first when you watch this movie, you're like, oh, okay, this is pretty normal. But then he gets so upset that he makes it rain.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And then you say, oh, something else is happening here.
This is gonna get weird.
Turns into some real hyper reality real quick.
Yeah. Yep. But
and then we get our other, I guess, antagonists, the movie writers. George Wendt and Mark McKinney.
Yay.
Mark McKinney was so good in this because he just basically Kids from the Hall did up.
Oh yeah, the movie he made before this was the Kids in the Hall movie, so he was just fresh off of that, off of Brain Candy, and then this.
Oh wow,
I love Brain Candy.
What a 1-2 punch!
That is the 90s. That is some 90s ass films right there.
Isn't it?
Not just that they were made in the 90s, but they could only have been made in the 90s. Yeah.
And the whole thing revolves around the fact that they're playing the Royal Albert Hall for the first time.
Yeah.
3 days from when they played Top of the Pops.
The Pops.
And their friend from childhood is pregnant.
Yeah, from
Like-
teenagehood is preggers.
Yes.
And she's like 15 months pregnant too, isn't she? She's like,
She's
Mhm.
very pregnant.
She's very
overdue.
pregnant.
She's
She's
past
over-
her due date.
She's overly pregnant. She overpregnated.
the
And
pregnantest
truly-
anyone has ever been.
And truly, in all feminist style, it's a conversation about balancing family and career.
Because she
Like-
was the Sixth Spice Girl, right?
She
And
was
then
the
she had
Sixth Spice Girl.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They threw that in. There's a
Yes, they did.
mysterious Sixth Spice Girl.
I do want to say the most outrageous thing to happen in this movie is they want to spend time with her and they take this woman past her due date to a club.
A club.
Incredible.
To a club. But that makes sense. As you know, I've had friends who are pregnant, and what they do is they go on long walks at the end. They eat spicy food and they just walk it out and dance it out. It's apparently just like some really deep lunging dance moves. Really
But
gets
like
that
in
baby
the club?
out. But in
But
the club-
outrageous. Outrageous. No, the craziest thing.
Seldor has a good question. And I don't remember this. Did they give her possible spice name?
No.
They did
No.
What
not.
a missed
No.
opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
kind of disappointed. Because then
Considering
you
they
could have made a
gave-
doll of the Spice Girl who it never was, and she'd come with a little baby.
Her name was Pete Best Spice.
Did you
the
did you say little baby instead of saying little baby? You went
Little
Well,
baby.
she's a
little,
doll.
little baby.
So the baby, like comparatively, this is the baby.
Yes.
Listeners, I'm making little signals with my fingers
Oh.
about a doll's Barbie size and about a Barbie
A
baby
pinch.
size.
A pinch,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah. It could be one of the ones where the belly opens. Listen, I'm $1 million for the 90s.
No.
And then you go, I'm pregnant.
I
not
actually
pregnant.
imagine the babies that go in king cakes, the little
Yeah.
babies that you find.
Yeah, you
That's-
can fill her tummy up with them.
Oh my god, the
Okay, let's keep
You-
moving.
Keep
What
it
happened
moving.
next in this movie?
So their handler, Richard E. Grant from favorites like Bram Stoker's Dracula and Penelope,
yes.
And with Nail and I.
with Nail and I, of course, is trying to get them through all this successfully. They keep checking in with the chief, who is the lovely and talented Roger Moore.
Roger Moore. Oh my god, you're right.
Who's just like holding a pig, feeding a baby pig.
I love the baby pig. Like,
Speaking in riddles. Nobody.
Yeah.
what does he mean now? What did he just say? I don't know.
For all the world, it was, we got Roger Moore for a day, so this is what we're going to do.
Yeah,
Let's
kind of
just have
thing.
fun.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they just had fun, and it's ridiculous, and it's very, very funny. I like the
It's
part
like,
when he calls him to give him the day off, and he just he goes, "I'm going to tell him that they're going to get the day off," and phone rings. No, we're like he has the gift of telepathy,
Oh,
so
telepathy.
he's also Professor X apparently.
He's supernatural Charlie from Charlie's Angels, basically. He's
Like
he's tremendous.
Like the combination of like supernatural random shit in here combined with like real world random stuff, and then just not stale, what's the word, like straight face British comedy. It like makes this such a magical, and then the Spice Girls music just peppered in there randomly literally makes this such a fun film. And every time I watch it, I see something new. I'm like, when did that line ever happen? I've watched this 50 bajillion times, and I'm seeing brand new stuff every single time.
Yeah.
And also, you're saying things, I'm like, oh my God, that's right. I totally forgot that.
Listen,
bit-
I have a copy. I offered to lend
Yeah.
you the movie. for a
Listen, I don't
refresh.
need to I didn't need to rewatch it. When I tell you that this is on par with Ocean's 11, and yes, I did bring up Ocean's 11. Yeah, on par.
Did you notice I took a drink?
I did. Look,
Oh, hi,
Danny, as in Daniel Ocean, my cat,
Hey.
showed up the second I mentioned Ocean's 11. But anyways, I
Yeah.
watched it that often. It lives rent free in my head.
That's true.
Fair enough.
So let's see.
I can't, Michael Purry.
What else do we? What else happens here? They have a couple different flashbacks or flash forwards or fantasies where they're all moms.
Moms, because they're singing the mom. Oh God, the song is so sad.
And then there's the part in where they're in Italy. Is that right?
Yeah, which I didn't look up that scene, but they had to cut that guy out because he's a pedo.
Is that right?
Oh, is it the Gary Glitter thing?
The Gary Glitter move. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so he had shot a scene for that, and then one of his many indiscretions got in trouble for. They kept the song in that they performed, but they got rid of him.
Yeah. Apparently they also they also had to take out a Princess Di reference and a Versace reference.
Wow.
Because a lot of stuff happened between the making of this film, full of like pop culture references, and when it was released.
97 was a bad year to be a celebrity.
It was a rough year. Rough year.
With the exception of Gary Glitter, because screw that. Terrible.
No, that he did that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I love about the energy of this film? The fact that we're trying to like put all these pieces, like this thing happens, this happens. I said it's like it has like sleepover energy or like playing with dolls logic. We're like, oh, and then the Spice Girls did this, and then they did that, and the movie's not interested in making that make sense.
No.
They're just like, here's another fun thing. Oh, look, they have to go to like the dance trainer, but he's military, and all of a sudden they've got like now they're in like army gear, but like fashionable. You know, I was like, this is ridiculous, and I love it. It makes no sense, and it doesn't have to. They're just sketches that are kind of, like literally strung together.
Yeah.
This really is a sketch comedy movie with some performances. It almost feels like a variety show or like one of those TV shows that the director made. It feels like an episode of The Young Ones almost.
Oh, yeah. We get that part where they are making fun of each other that we talked about before we started recording, where they're all dressing up as different characters, right? Like they dress up as each other, right?
Yeah. They dress up like there's like Marilyn Monroe and like Ziggy Stardust and Elvis, and then each other, which I'm like, this is hilarious. Is there a plot point to this? No. Who gives a crap about the plot in a Spice Girls film? This is what it should be, which is just fun stuff. Wouldn't it be funny to see them dressed at each other? And then the movie gives us that.
As a child, that was one of the funniest, most enjoyable scenes for me. I was like, this is great. Do you see Scary Spice with Ginger? And she's going, whatever, blah, 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 girl power.
Yeah.
And then they took a picture with everybody, and I was like, oh my God, I want that picture.
And then everyone's like, this outfit's uncomfortable, except for, oh God, who was being sporty? I forget. She's like, this is great. And Sporty's like, I know. Don't even think about it. Like, I claim the comfortable Spice. The rest of you are in trouble.
I think it goes back to kind of what you just said, though, about like they're like dolls, right? Yeah. So it's like you play dress up and you swap the outfits and everything.
Like, this has got like positive, like femme girly fun being celebrated, which I think also contributed it was both a popular film and like the reviewers hated it. And I think partly because it's like girly energy, like silliness.
Correct.
You know, like it was put down more stuff like, no, it's exactly what any sort of movie would be with like a music group. Just they got, I think, crapped upon when I'm like, no, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. That's why they exist. Just for fun. You know,
like at the time you're like critically panned, right? Like I keep reading that sentence that Roger Ebert said, and I was like, "Did you who pissed in your cornflakes that day?" Because you don't like fun. Like he was really cruel. And then it was interesting. I read an article today that was like a revisit of it in the past, I want to say 5-ish years. And I didn't see who wrote it, but I got to one of the ending paragraphs and I was like, oh, this has misogyny all over it. And then I get to the last paragraph and I was like, oh, a dude wrote it. Like, and he was trying to defend the movie, but up to a certain point, then he gets to the part where he's like, oh, first of all, he called Sporty Spice Butch. I always think of my favorite tweet where there's a picture of Tony Topaz from Riverdale, and then above it says like, "This is the Butch's girl you can all handle," and it's like her in a skirt with fishnets, like a brassiere, like corset, and full face makeup. I'm like, this is not, you know what I mean? But
this is not. Yeah, this is. Yeah, I feel you misunderstand.
Can we use words we actually understand the significance of within the culture?
Did you mean just tall? Did you confuse Butch with tall?
Words mean things. Words mean things.
Words have meaning.
But it seems like, kind of interesting that the point still is kind of going over people's heads. Like, yes, these were archetypes of kind of girls that you kind of picked at the time. Like, if you were a little kid playing, right? Which one do you want to be type thing. So,
no, exactly.
But it's still desirable. Not.
Listen, it's just like picking your favorite Smurf.
Picking your favorite Power Ranger.
Or, Power Ranger. Yeah.
Blue Ranger.
Color coded, and they have like 2 personality things. And that's, as a kid, that's understandable. Like, that's a good beginning thing to do, Also, just enjoyable. And they're just there wearing costumes, singing pop songs. It's pop.
I think there's a place in time that people get lost sometimes, that every single film or piece of art has to be this intellectual journey, or has to some sort of additive to your life when you're watching it, when really there is shit out there just to be fucking fun and wonderful, and people forget to like watch something in the context for which is the design to be watched. So that is my 2 cents on that, because Spice World is super fun. There's a lot, like, the So Fetch series that was going on at the Little. I think that had some. It's still happening. Cool. I think there's like films there that got shit on a lot by, especially male critics, because they weren't seeing them for like. First of all, some of them have like, what's that, like stealth messaging in it about like, I don't know, appreciate your body and like don't be a jerk to your friends, right? And then sometimes they're just fun ones about, cheerleaders being bank robbers, right? That's just funny, So I think people miss the point on Spice World just being, like you guys said, a bunch of sketches with British comedy and for funsies, and they got shat on because they were women. So anyways, just taking it there for a second. I just love this film so much. It holds a special place in my heart. Sorry for taking it so serious for a second.
Oh, it's good.
No, we're respecting it. We gave, like, that was like, like no one wanted to be the one to make a joke first, I think.
That was it. Yeah. It certainly wasn't going to be me.
Would you want to talk a bit? Now, maybe it's a good time to talk about not even cameos, but like the cast. Also, Richard O'Brien.
Yeah.
Oh, as the photographer.
Yeah, just like using his gift for creepiness, and Britishness.
Yeah, I lost it. It's great. The toilet.
Speaking of British, this is when I learned that I can do it. Roger Rabbit.
Oh, Bob Hoskins.
Hoskins was British. This was the movie that I was watching, and I was like, I'm sorry. I thought this man was from Brooklyn.
Oh, he sounds just like Jerry's.
Last time I checked, this man was a PI from Brooklyn, and now you're telling me he has that accent? Get out of here.
Anyone around our age had that moment where we learned that Bob Hoskins was British, because we'd seen Roger Rabbit and we'd seen Super Mario Brothers. So we're like, that dude's from New York, right?
He's from New York. He's an Italian from New York.
An entire generation of Americans going, oh, he's one of the best American accents. Yeah.
Sky, if you want to blow your mind, watch The Long Good Friday.
Why are you doing that to my sister?
It's Bob Hoskins. It's great.
Just watch a clip. Is that what
Bob Hoskins, Helen Mirren? It's not a horror movie. It's a heist movie. It's also like
it's a heist movie.
Well, it's British. It's like a very British film.
British heist movie / political intrigue kind of.
Well, you had me.
I'll put this on Rex.
Yeah, can you? Because you had me at Helen Mirren and fucking Bob Hoskins, and then you said heist, and I'm already down the street watching it.
Yeah, it's a tough movie. It's kind of dark, but like if you want to see Bob Hoskins at the top of his powers, it's that one. He is the most brutal.
Listen, I recently survived a couple of episodes of Severance, so I think I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can. I've got faith in you. It's a heist. It's one of the better heist movies out there. Heist-ish movies. It's one of those like political intrigue, double cross heist.
Oh my god! If I could just
It's very good.
I need everyone to tell me all the heist films that they watch. I need to watch. I just want. I love film so much.
I gotcha.
Did you watch The Bad Guys? Because that is fantastic.
Yeah, of course I. Yeah, as per your recommendation.
Making sure. I was circling back around, making sure you didn't lose it.
Well, that it was part of that 2-year long marathon. What am I doing? Marathon.
We can touch upon the cameos now, which are more Britishness. Elton John, Elvis Costello, Bob Geldof shows up, Stephen Fry, Hugh Laurie, Jennifer Saunders, which makes sense because the director had worked with a chunk of any the British sketch people who show up. I believe Hugh Laurie is like Poirot.
He's playing Poirot, yeah.
He is.
Fantastic.
I did not recognize it until this last watch because I was like, I know him.
Was this pre-House?
Yes.
Yeah, way before. Yeah.
I'm always fascinated. He's upper class twit for part of his career. Then he comes over to America and becomes serious Dr. Holmes. And then he did some blues music for a while. And I'm like, this is the same guy. It's his entire career when he was younger was Rich Idiot. And he did it really, really well, y'all.
When you told me that and you showed me,
I mean,
I was like, that is not the same person.
Yeah, I love it.
The Woodhouse stuff he does with Stephen Fry is so good. Jeeves and Wooster stuff. Jeeves and Wooster,
they're meant to be. It's so weird that those were written before these two people existed because they are those characters. I'm like, how did he write this without them actually existing?
He foretold in a prophecy that they would show up one day.
Yeah.
They had to be born, they had to meet, work together, and then be Jeeves and Wooster. And it's foretold. Yeah, it's amazing.
And that being the universal worst in Blackadder. Oh man, he's great. Anyway.
Oh yeah, don't get me started. I'll start talking about Blackadder.
Hugh Laurie. We'll just
literally
do Hugh Laurie.
They turned on an episode of QI and just picked people off of it and put them on the screen.
Somebody else I recognized for the first time, Dominic West. I didn't see him the
photographer. I literally had to stop and look it up. I'm like, is this Dominic West?
Yep. What the fuck, multi? Every time I see him, I just have to say it. What did I do? Every time.
This would have been one of his first things too. This is just a bit part.
This isn't a cameo. It's just a role.
It's just a role. It's on his IMDb.
Yeah. This was just him making rent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stay in there, buddy. Don't worry.
Yep.
You're going to be the best part of Punisher Warzone in a couple years.
God, this movie is just full of people, and I think it's a movie that never stops. It's really you don't have to worry about an attention span for this film because it's different stuff. Look at this. Look at that. Look at they're on a boat. They're in the water. They're on a bus. It's jumping over. Look, it's a little miniature bus, and it jumps over.
Aliens.
The aliens.
Did you get bored for a second? Aliens.
Did you take a nap and wake up and think you're in a different movie?
No.
Yeah.
No.
We did our job.
We get a concert. We get several concerts. Performance.
Lots of music.
They get real emotional. They get emotional.
Yeah.
They're singing "Mama." So
you can't forget the bomb on the bus.
Oh my God.
So was Speed around this time?
Yeah, it was. Speed was 96, 95.
Yeah.
Just what I appreciate is the movie was like, okay, if we get real silly, we can just wrap it in. Oh, these are just screenwriters coming up with ideas and still show the ridiculousness in case people are like, this movie's getting kind of weird. It's like, no, don't worry about it. They're just they're American screenwriters, very specifically.
Shitting on us.
Yeah. I'm like, fair enough. Go for it.
Fair enough.
But so then they can get so super ridiculous and literally connect them to the end. They're like, how do we get to the end? How about this? Like a bus chase, but also it's not real, but also it is the way we're going to finish the film. I appreciate that. I'm like, mwah.
When he's
get there?
Choking the heck out of him. These girls have been through enough.
Those characters, they're having so much fun because they're all so good at what they do. That I can just watch those three dudes just tell the story and get really into it.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just every time, every frame is enjoyable. I'm having a good time. This is fun. It's silly. It's ridiculous. It's an action film. It's a concert movie. It's a sketch comedy series. It's everything you could want.
And you could tell that the Spice Girls were like extra comfortable in those singing moments, and some of them were stepping outside of their comfort zone with improv and lines, and I just loved that because they looked like they were having a good time with each other. That's the other thing. Nobody looked like they were like. You can tell sometimes in certain movies when people are like, I hate this person. Like 50 Shades of Grey. Like.
That was every interview they did. That was
God. 3 whole ass films.
As an aside, I feel like anytime I see her, it looks like she doesn't like anybody she's working with. So I don't know.
What did we who watched this with me?
Madam Web?
Yes, someone. Wait, who watched it? Oh, it was Dax and our friends did a film fail type thing, and we watched Madam Web. And I'm sorry, I'm getting us off track. Holy fucking
Go for it.
That film is wild.
The funniest.
I don't know who decided to give the direction for any one of those actors. They were all in different films.
Bold of you to assume direction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
first and foremost. And the funniest thing about that is it's Elizabeth Olsen's fault that Dakota Johnson starred in that movie.
Oh, yes, KP, please tell me.
I think there's an interview. I've seen
Elaborate.
it times where like Dakota, I think, had gotten offered or like was considering it, and Elizabeth was like, "Yeah, no, superhero movies are great. Marvel movies are so much fun."
Oh no,
and she didn't know this is for Sony.
Oh no!
She got Karen Gilland.
Oh my
no!
God.
That's exactly how Matt Smith ended up in Morbius.
Oh God!
So Karen was like, "Oh, it's so great."
Yeah, Karen Gillan was like, "Yeah, Marvel, of course, it's great." And then he ended up in Morbius, and he was like,
Matt Smith's the best thing in that film, though. So I can't be upset. He's having a ball.
Generally, the best thing in anything because he's always having fun.
So
this is very true.
This is the best example of why you should take in recommendations from your friends and family and then do your own research. Okay. As someone who has now married a librarian, what would you say?
Ask some follow-up questions.
Ask some follow-up questions. As someone who has recently married a librarian, I have now learned the importance of search terms. I have now learned the importance of, literally doing your own backup research on something, because sometimes someone, yes, it's good for them, but why is it good for them? It might not be good for you. So anyways,
you may not be signing up for the same thing.
You might not be signing. The time of day differs, the time of year. Like maybe you want to go to Alaska and we went in May. Maybe you want to shoot for July because you want to see more whales or you need it warmer. Like ask details about their experience and why they liked it, because you need to figure out what you need. Anyways, thank you.
The last time I talked to Karen Gillan, that's what she said. You should probably go to Alaska in July. Which,
that's if you want to spend an extra $8,000. Jesus.
So funny.
She can only lead a mat astray once, so I felt comfortable.
That's it. If you're a mat, watch out.
Watch out here. Well, no, it's Todd, so he's okay.
There it is. That's probably why she knew me as Todd. And that's what
it saved you.
Is it like Lord of the Rings? No man can defeat me. No man can defeat me. I am man.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Can we get
no, do I have to Photoshop that? Crap.
Yes, we need to Photoshop. I need you to wear that as a t-shirt.
I'll just post it with absolutely no explanation on Anomaly socials.
Correct.
I am no Matt. I'm just making a note, and I hope I remember what the hell this means later on.
Oh my God, I've done.
Why did I type "I am no Matt" in my notes?
It's like those notes you find after a really, really long night. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, I'm hoping
a really long meeting or a really long movie you watch, take notes. I'm like, what did I mean by circle back to this? What is this? The arrow isn't pointing to anything. I need a noun. I need an object.
See, this movie gives us energy. They even do a fourth wall break at the end.
I was just going to say.
A la Scrooge.
Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah, like, they snug it in the back. I'm like, see, that's exactly what the movie is. It's a movie that knows it's a movie, knows you're watching it as a movie, and even acknowledges you at the end.
Yes.
And then the bomb goes off. Do I remember?
Yes.
Yep. Then the bomb goes off.
To the bomb. I'm like, movie, bravo. I love you, movie.
I just wanted to be in this movie so bad as a kid because one, double-decker bus, but most importantly, they each had their little. And I know that
Set.
what's it called? That set, thank you, is larger than a double-decker bus. But I like that they had their own little spots that like were like a la them and themed after them, and I thought that was so adorable.
Yeah, like
it goes back to
dolls.
Yeah, I was gonna say it goes back to the thing that the KP said earlier, where it's just dolls in a dollhouse. Everybody's got their own little spot.
Yeah. Did they ever produce that bus as a toy?
They didn't.
No, did they?
Yeah.
No. Because
I'm
I'm like,
how dare you not get that for me as a child?
Why? You know, I was getting weird horror stuff. I was focused differently.
That bus probably was.
This was 97, so who knows what we were doing.
I know.
Very expensive.
I'll go check what I was doing. I'm afraid.
The actual bus was put on display in like 2014.
I mean, it's a cool bus. Like, it should be the pride and joy of Britain.
Yeah, July 18th, 2014, the Spice Bus used in the film was put on permanent display at Island Harbor Marina on the Isle of Wight.
Yeah, Isle of Wight, yeah.
England.
Yep.
Oh,
I was like
group trip.
Yes, and then there was supposed to be a potential sequel. But then they went on their tour and then Jerry said goodbye.
My first band breakup.
Yeah, it's rough. Very rough.
Yeah, it was rough. No one ever teaches you as a child how it feels to have like a band breakup. And then I really learned the sense of impermanence at that age.
Yeah.
Look.
The movie bus. Which, you know what? I missed the movie trailer voice. Can we I know it wouldn't be the same, but watching that trailer, I miss that voice.
I miss that voice too.
You knew where you were and what was happening. I'm in a theater watching a trailer, and this guy's telling me about the movie.
Don LaFontaine. What a
Don LaFontaine.
Yeah. Yay!
But apparently, in 2019, they were working on an animated sequel. That got greenlit, but everyone had agreed to return. But I don't know.
But it was 2019.
I was going to say, probably a COVID casualty, which means it could come back.
Yeah. The film would feature the band as superheroes, so we would get that Spice Force 5.
Yay.
Spice Force 5.
Well, no, they just celebrated Victoria's birthday all together, I think. So.
Yeah, her 50.
They're talking to each other. That's a good sign.
That is a good sign.
Well, so if I remember correctly, the Olympics, that reunion, it brought them together for the first time with Jerry and Victoria involved, and got them dialoguing about what the fuck happened. Got some feelings processed and out, which healthy. We're adults. A lot of us have kids. We're not the same we were then. Let's figure out what we can do. And that's how the reunion stuff started to happen. Because they're like, on these terms, in this thing, with these boundaries, we can get together again.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was like, aw.
See, I thought you were going to say that Nicola's kid had a kid, and then they got together to celebrate.
Yeah. Oh no, another pregnancy. Take it to the club.
Show this child a good time. We're all 50 in the club.
Yeah. Bless us being 50 in the club. Y'all be 50 in the club.
We're 50 in the club with a pregnant teenager. Yes.
Yeah. Listen,
Girl
life's
power.
Weird, everybody.
Girl power.
God damn it.
What else is there really to say after that?
I feel like it's a
I hope that's not it. Please don't let us close on that. I will feel so guilty.
Bag, bring us home.
It's so it's a movie. It's like an experience. Yeah. Like if you were in the theater as a kid, it was more like watching like a concert than anything. Like it's not a narrative. It's a fun stuff that happens on the screen, and it's always something different. And I think it's partly a celebration of both the Spice Girls and a particular kind of music movie. And England at the time, for a little bit, it was cool again. For that little bit, the swinging 60s came back for about 3 years, and they had fun with that.
Which, if we're honest, that's about what it was back in the 60s too. It was really only
it's just like a little bit of time. Yeah.
You know,
Spice World, and then Austin Powers, and then we were like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, we're good.
And we're good. In the cultural swing, we kind of swiped right past it again because we went right to Y2K. Fashion. Like we skipped it. Maybe we'll catch you on the next time.
Hey, we got 2 solid movies. Like, I'll take Spice World. I'll watch Austin Powers, that first one, anytime. Like, anytime, you know?
Yeah.
Thanks, nostalgia.
I'll say the unpopular thing. I think the third one's the best one.
Austin Powers?
Yeah.
Gold member?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what?
It's got Beyonce in it. Agreed.
I have to rewatch them.
A pipe and a pancake? A bong and a blitz?
I've been defeated.
But
here's what it is.
Yes.
Gold member is the greatest hits of the Austin Powers movies. You don't have to watch 1 and 2 because all the jokes from 1 and 2 are in 3 plus new jokes.
Okay. Okay. Well, sorry, KP. I got one more argument on here. But here's the thing. I think the original one has the most heart. I think it has a sweetness that the other 2 do not.
Facts.
And I'm a big, sappy, gooey glob. So I'm like, oh, look, it's a love story. And the second one, like, oh, she was a fembot. And I'm like, I'll never forgive you. And I didn't.
Betrayal.
I was literally like, you sons of bitches. You ended it perfectly. Why?
Sequels,
you humanized him. Yeah. Okay. I'm fine. Okay, we should just do this. We should do this as an episode.
Really, the answer is the best Austin Powers movie is the next Austin Powers movie. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, we'll see in about 10 years. I think when it comes.
I don't know.
No.
I'm just thinking of the output after that, and I'm just like, I'm doing odds in my head.
If anybody's seen the Pentaveret, you know he's hitting home runs still to this day. Anyway.
Oh no.
So the Spice World. It's got heart. It's got music. It's got cameos. It's got British humor. It's got Alan Cummings going, when 3 become 1.
Yeah.
Right? It's got quotes that you can quote for the rest of your life as someone who knows from personal experience. So here's my glowing review for why you should watch Spice World. And if you don't, then you have made a choice.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Scott.
It's the wrong choice, but you've made a choice.
Yeah, right.
The unfortunate thing is, if you want to see this, it is not streaming, no doubt, because the rights to put it on any sort of streaming service are probably so Byzantine, there's no way it'll ever happen. So if you want to see it, just take a look at your favorite record store's used DVD section. It's probably in there.
Or contact KP.
Or if you have a friend like KP, they might have it for you. Do not ask KP directly unless you know KP like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't ask her.
We love you all, but not like that.
Ask your local libraries to try to
the
get
libraries have it.
That's a
Monroe
great option.
County does not have it. Monroe County, please get it.
I already have Dax talking to their librarian friends about that.
Wonderful.
So if you can find it at your local record store, you can donate it to your local library. And then they'll sell it, and the cycle will continue. Anyway, Spice World. What a movie.
Is it recommendation times?
I think it's recommendation time. Let's do it, shall we?
Yeah.
We'll start. Well, you asked for homework, so you can go first, Meg.
Man. Okay, fine. Okay. I've read a thing and watched a thing I would recommend. Actually, speaking of the library, I got the first collection of the Tales from the City by Armistead Maupin. Which is about so they start. What is great is they're very short chapters because they were originally written for a newspaper in San Francisco in the early 70s, and it's kind of slice of life about right after that summer of love in San Francisco, where it's like the 70s, things are changing, and it's about all these different people in the city, from a young woman who just moved there. It has a lot to do with like queer culture at the time, but you also have viewpoints from like the richer, older folks, and like how it's a very human story about how these people are just trying to like figure out their lives at different parts in San Francisco. Also, I found it used the term twink in the way we know it in like 1974. I didn't know it was that early of a term, but when the one guy's like, I just don't want to go to the club with all those twinks, I'm like, this is great. I love history. I know what you mean. He's ready to settle down is what's happening. And then I was going through, I love Pluto TV because you can just go to different channels, and I was checking out the action channel and Bloodsport was on. So all of a sudden, whatever my plan was for that time of night became watching Bloodsport again. Would I do it again? Yes, it'll happen again.
Yeah.
They also were playing like American Ninja, like all the American Ninjas. So I lost about a day. I go in and out. I'm like, yeah, because 2's the best. But I'm not going to not watch 3 or 4 if I given the chance. So that's what I say. Watch the action channel on Pluto TV and go, oh, that's what I'm doing for the next hour and a half.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Sky.
Somebody else.
Recently I have been watching documentaries, and I watched one called McMillions.
Oh, McMillions is goody.
And it is wild. It is literally wild. It goes places that it zugs when you think it's zag. And that it caught me completely off guard. And there is a bunch of like characters, like literally you're like this sounds like this was written and these people are like actors, but they're real human beings. It's very fascinating. It took me like a couple of days to get through because there's a couple of heavy, like really heavy stuff in it. I've also been watching on loop Sister Act 2 because it was also a very like soft and sing-songy movie to watch, and plus like classic 90s like Whoopi Goldberg. I sang that song in middle school choir, all the songs from there, so it's just like nostalgia. And what have I been reading? Oh, my friend April McLeod just came out with a book called The Switch, and it's got themes. It's got queer themes. It's got like little robot spiders with top hats. Yeah, and that's all I'm gonna say. And it's called The Switch, and it just came out through a queer publishing company, but it's called The Switch, and it's by April McLeod. And if you're from Rochester, you can get it signed and embossed with a little robot spider.
Cool. Fancy.
Yeah.
Nice.
KP.
Interview with a Vampire season 2 finale rocked my world. So that's 10 out of 10. Really, it's more than a 10 out of 10, but fantastic job. Bawled my eyes out in episodes 7 and 8. So can't recommend that enough. Yeah, you still know the tragedy is going to happen, and it's still completely
and it's horrible. Yeah.
Shout out to Delaney. I was nervous when they had to recast Claudia, but she really knocked it out of the park. I mean, fantastic. But yes. So, and they got renewed for a 3rd season. I mean, they technically completed Interview with the Vampire, so now they'll move on to the Vampire Lestat. But highly recommend that if you haven't checked it out yet. It's supposed to be on Netflix soon.
Also, the casting of Eric Bogosian as
good.
Daniel is amazing. What a great! I love seeing Bogo in anything. But I was like, this is so smart. He just
yes, crushes it. And then I've been doing some prep work for a Birds of Prey related thing, so I rewatched that amazing movie over the weekend, and then I've been reading Gail Simone's like run of it, so just pick that up from the library.
Awesome.
Yes, so that's what I've got.
Cool. I'm going to piggyback on Sky and say that there's a documentary on HBO that everybody should check out called Ren Fair.
Oh my God, I saw the trailer for that. It looks bonkers.
If you like McMillions, you'll like Ren Fair. It is, I think I've heard it described as Succession, but at a Ren Fair in Texas. It is hysterical. The king of the Ren Fair is one of the creepiest human beings I've ever seen in my life. And the people that are competing for his power, for the power of the The park and his affections are completely bonkers. It's 3 episodes and it is super duper worth watching. A record everybody should check out if you have an hour to set aside and you're looking for something to kind of chill out and listen to. Alice Coltrane's Lord of Lords. It's been out for 30 some odd years now, 40 some odd years. And it's brilliant. So if you're looking for something, especially on kind of a warm summer night to throw on and listen to, it's a goodie. And that's all I've got for this week.
Also, everyone should be listening to Chapel Rowan. Pink Pony Club is a fucking bop.
Yeah, she's come out of nowhere, eh?
I mean, apparently it takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
God damn. We listened to that song for 30 minutes on loop. Yeah, we got a few more years.
He's got a few more years, and boom, out of nowhere, where did Anomaly come from?
Get away.
Speaking of, you can be one of the people in the Umpty Club trying to figure out how to do the hot to go dance. If you come to Anomaly, this November 6th through 10th at the Little Theater in beautiful Rochester, New York, at the historic Little Theater and historic Dryden Theater. It's anomalyfilmfest.com. Passes are on sale now. So get that if you'd like. We would like to see you there. We're still working on figuring out what we're going to show, but the good news is it's because there's a lot of good stuff, so it's hard to pick. So come hang out with us and see all the cool stuff. I mean, we've gone over in past years what we've shown. We've all gone to we're all going to the World's Fair. People's Joker, Skinamarink.
You don't know me.
Before anyone knew.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I spoke over you, Sky.
Is it You Don't Know Me, right? Or
the Showgirls documentary.
Yep, that's now on Prime.
Stop Motion, which just popped up on Shudder.
Yeah.
Loop Track,
Riddle of
which
Fire.
just popped up on Shudder.
Track. Yes.
Riddle of Fire,
go watch Loop Track.
which I think is going to pop up at the Little sometime in the next couple of weeks, depending on when this goes up.
Jessica Cabin is now on Prime as well.
Yeah. Our friends, the Jessica Cabin. That whole cabin, our friend.
Our friend.
And
close personal friend.
I was like, many of the movies listed were queer, and it is Pride Month in Rochester. So
Yep. This is coming out during Rochester Pride Month.
Hey, y'all, if June comes up too soon, come over to Rochester. We do it in July.
We do it in July. So we can all party everywhere in June.
Yeah, that we know, like we cannot compete with New York. So we're like, you know what? Have that month. We'll still be here in July, everybody. Come back.
Yeah. And it's actually nicer weather here in July. So we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
My Pride sleeve.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good looking jersey.
Yeah, it was great.
So this has been the Anomaly Presents podcast. We have been your Podcastronauts. I want to thank you from the heart of our bottom for listening. And you have a great night. Thank you. Good night.